Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, they're in a meeting.
What up,
That's why
everyone?
I'm here.
Sorry for the late entrance. I got a new computer. Bonus points if you can guess what the computer is. So new computer, and we are live. Cool. What are you drinking today? I'm coffee. It's what, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. Maybe tomorrow.
Is there bacon in that coffee?
So I know people put bacon in everything, but does bacon in coffee? Is that like? Has anyone tried
Does
that?
that be it? Like, it's kind of like a bullet coffee, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so we have one for Mac Air, one for Acer. Okay, so anything else? Welcome, everyone. So my name is Shashank. I'm a senior data analyst at Nordstrom, and I do this live stream every Thursday in order to answer whatever questions you might have about analytics. And today, I have a surprise for you guys. If you have any questions about machine learning or coding beyond what I'm able to talk about, then we have some special guests in the audience that can help us out. MacBook Pro, not the new one. I got the old one. So people,
Stop doing it, right?
Yeah, this is...
Because they said it was too expensive to like fix every time it broke. Stuff like that.
No, it's like the M1 chip.
Started a data analyst job without any relevant experience. Manager decided to take a leap. Nice. That's awesome, Siafi. Congratulations. As you guys know, the whole point of this channel, get you guys jobs. That's it. That's the only thing that matters. So awesome. And good jobs. That's great to hear, man. All right, so I had a surprise ready for this live stream, but I guess I might as well reveal it now. I mean, you guys are all content creators. You're comfortable on camera, right? So we have...
I'm not going to look any better than this.
We have a pretty solid audience. That's Nick Wan back there.
It's amazing.
Miki, Code Emporium, Seattle data guy, and Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just Miki on your, like, as your personality?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't set it up yet.
So it's only you that's not going by your name.
Code Emporium. You think my name is Code?
That's a good point.
Just like...
Oh, man, all right.
This is Mr. Emporium, fine purveyor of code.
Notorious Swaggy said Luke. What do you think about economics as a major to get into data analytics? I think you'd be surprised how much economics can make in like major tech companies. So I was at a Starbucks the other day, right? So I live in Seattle. I was at a Starbucks the other day, and they had I was just talking to some guy, and he's an economist working for Amazon. Again, they hire people like these because these companies are so massive now that these people that work in the social sciences are very much necessary to fill in the gaps where engineering can't really solve problems, usually on actually making the platform work the way it's intended to work. All right. Famous crew. Yeah, the whole gang is here. Yeah, it's we're spending some time together over the weekend, so hopefully we'll get some really interesting content out for you guys. I'm hoping that the content we make in this session or this, weekend will get me over 100K subscribers, and then we can have that massive party I kept talking about. Oh yeah, I told half the people in like my apartment, I'm like, okay, I'm throwing a massive party. There's gonna be ribs if I get 100K subscribers. So Josue. Oh, okay, Miki. So you're a machine learning engineer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Miki's a machine learning engineer, so she can probably answer this question better than I can.
Yes.
The question is, what do you do?
Same.
Okay, so these two are both machine learning engineers. That's Code Emporium. That's Miki. Where can they find you guys most? Like, what platform are you guys most available on? YouTube?
LinkedIn Medium.
LinkedIn and Medium.
Soon to be on YouTube.
Ooh.
So, maybe she'll launch this during this trip. So they're both machine learning engineers. So the question is, what machine learning models do you believe are needed most in data analytics? Maybe give like a top 3 or 5, maybe not the exact top one.
You can't go wrong with like random forest classifiers or random forest regression.
Yeah,
honestly.
any kind of like tree-based model. Like, there's also CatBoost, which is I've been kind of getting into a lot.
CatBoost is
like,
super cool.
Yeah,
Yandex.
it's really cool. I love their community. It's also good for like just visualizing data in general, and pretty easily with just a few lines of code in Python.
So could you explain quickly, like, why is it called CatBoost, and like what's the major advantage of it versus say XGBoost or something like that?
I believe that it's just like an internal algorithm configuration change. It's been a while since I've kind of just dabbled into it.
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but but that's about it. They have like an entire own community that I think I'd recommend. There is like, I think one of the founders actually had a YouTube video that explains kind of everything on Cat Boost that I'd probably recommend. Can't really share it right now, but yeah, I just highly recommend just like YouTube Cat Boost. I think you'll just like figure out like a bunch of videos, and they also have their own documentation platform too that has pretty good examples. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I would say like definitely don't worry about like neural nets or deep learning models because
I've learned them and I'll never used them.
What she said.
because when you're doing like analytics and like Shashank, you can like like kind of talk about from your experience, but from my experience when I was working both doing sales analytics and financial analytics, a lot of times we were like responsible for generating reports. Basically like, how much does the company spend on marketing? Is the sales team going to close their targets this year? And the thing that will drive your business partners up the walls, if you do a black box model and like can't explain like how you got the predictions, right? Like, so a lot of people think that like you kind of end at predictions, but where you have to go is predictions and then insightful action. And that's honestly where the big bucks are. It's not like technical. I mean, you need to have technical chops, but the big bucks in like, I feel like in data analytics is not knowing really fancy models, but it's really understanding like the business side and being able to communicate that to your business partners. Because that's kind of what they're, like for them, analytics helps them inform their decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a tree-based model, you have a lot more options in terms of model interpretability or feature importance, where you can at least kind of give them some guidance on like what was driving the prediction. So I feel like tree-based models can't go wrong with
Can't
that.
go wrong with them.
So what she said is 100% correct. It's what we talk about on this channel, right? The idea that at the end of the day, you are there to drive value for the business. And unlike a software engineer or these other jobs where it's more obvious, right? You write software, the business uses it. The value to the business is super simple. With data science and analytics, right? It's really important that you make the case to yourself and then eventually to your superiors as to why you should even be working at the company and what you do for the customer at the end of the day, or some other business process. And that's where explainability is really important, as Miki was talking about. And this is where forest models are really good for. Okay, what math would you recommend someone knows for machine learning?
Math, huh? Well, I guess for like interpretability, I do always love starting out very simple. Like just learn like linear regression and anything associated with that and anything interpreting that. If you want to know interpretability of models, I think stats models, which is a very nice package in Python, is very useful. And I'd say statistics in general, just associated with that, just to understand like, I don't know, like what are p-values, or how do you determine like significance of certain features that you might be thinking about in using your models. And also just making sure that, let's say whatever you put into your model, you understand what they actually imply, what they and how they kind of associate with your output variables. So yeah, I would say statistics, probably that would be extremely important. There is also like, if you want to know like the internals of exactly how you're kind of getting into those machine learning models, calculus, likelihood estimation is like super important, because in the end, a lot of these machine learning models are like optimization problems. We're trying to kind of optimize for a certain goal to like minimize some cost. So that's pretty useful. So calculus for internals of machine learning, but statistics and probability theory for interpretability of these models, so that you can better communicate your results, as we've discussed, is very important.
I'm gonna copy that answer from now on.
Sure.
That's the most articulate version of that answer I've ever heard. Sweet. Well, thanks, guys.
For sure.
Okay, so next question. Hi, do you think a master's degree is necessary in order to move up the job and look like a competitive candidate? So, I think there's a lot of factors that like go into it, right? Let's say, for example, you want to work in the United States and you're a foreigner, right? You don't have U.S. citizenship or a green card. A master's degree is probably the easiest way to get anything close to a guarantee. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but anything even close to that of actually getting an H-1B, your H-1B visa stamped, because you get put into a different pool and everything. It makes you significantly more competitive. So If you are a foreigner looking for a job in the United States, you don't have a green card, and you don't plan on marrying an American or something, then I would recommend a master's degree for you because you'll avoid a lot of problems that you would normally, or you would avoid a lot of the difficulty that I've seen, like my bachelor's only friends have to go through. Paula, welcome. Great to see you. Now, if you are, let's, take that visas are not like an issue for you, right? So you're just, focused on your career and everything. I personally am a big fan of the idea of doing your bachelor's degree, going into the workforce, getting some experience, and then really deciding what master's degree you want to do. I personally have never met a person who's done a master's straight out of college, who wasn't an H-1B, who said that was a great idea. I'm glad I did it right out of college. Do you disagree, or?
No, that's true.
Yeah. And I know for some people it's really difficult because, there's a lot of pressure from like parents and, family and everything to get master's degrees right out of college. My parents, still keep asking me, when am I going to get my master's degree? So yeah, I would say that is one thing. Eventually, I was talking to my director the other day, and I was asking him, is there a glass ceiling for people who want to go into management who don't have MBAs? And it depends on the firm, depends on the company. Some companies don't have it, some companies do. And that's where you kind of have to like break down, okay, what do you want to do? If you want to become a major management player at a company like Toyota or another like mega industrial conglomerate, you're probably going to need a master's degree, or put in 20, 30, 40 years of work to, move up the chain. If you're working at a smaller corporation, then you might be able to get away with not having the master's degree because you can really show your intelligence as you go up and there's less bureaucracy to deal with. So there's a lot of stuff you should consider. Master's degrees are, at least in the US, are incredibly expensive. They are more expensive than bachelor's degrees, year over year, and they're more profitable for colleges. That's why they're, willing to make them more expensive. So don't take on, I can tell you guys from personal experience, taking on debt just to feel better in getting an education is not a great idea. So really, really, really think about it before you take it on, because there is also a lot of life you will have to put on hold or suffer economic insecurity when you take on that debt. If you want to have kids, you want to go buy a house, this is all stuff you can't necessarily do when you have a master's like debt hanging over your shoulder. It's the sword of Damocles on top of yourself. Like, sure, maybe you're very powerful and you have this stuff, but it could, come and get you at any point in time. Now, that being said, maybe you could take out a loan right now and the government will never make you pay it back. They keep pushing back the date to pay back the loan. So, I don't know. That, long story short, it depends on you, but those are just some situations that you might want to consider. All right, what else we got?
Do you want to eat anything?
Vanshika Single, do you think data analysis is your passion? It is not my passion. Oh, no, not at all. No way. What? Wrong house to say that in. Data analytics allows me to live the life I want to live. It's a remote-friendly job. I do enjoy it. I do like. Oh, look who we got here.
What up, squad?
Wait, yes, no?
What? Oh, yes, what? No, what?
Well, the person over there is
She's more famous than I am.
I'm very shy.
She's 300K subscribers at this point.
Dude, I'm leaving.
Look, so famous. Okay. You know what? How about this? I'll give you this question. Is data analytics, data science, that general field, your passion?
Well, that's a hard one.
In some sense, yeah.
All right.
I think like it's a means to like highlight all of my passions, right? Like everything that I'm excited about has some element of data to it. So I can tell like the story of all of these different things with the data.
So politically
Yeah.
correct.
I was gonna say, it's just so wow.
They say
Please the people. Please
Wait,
the
actually,
people.
I think
For
this-
president 2024.
Okay, wait.
I don't want them to dive into
Now, what would your answer to that question be?
I would say it's a means to an end. Yeah, I would say it's definitely a passion, and it's something that I like doing and like exploring, but it's not like my main thing. I like to apply it with other
He likes to
things.
jump bikes.
Yeah, y'all need to go watch that mountain bike jumping video on his channel. It's pretty cool. The one where you use
or
the.
his full mountain bike jumping channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No, do not,
yeah.
do not
Dude,
subscribe to the
it's sick.
second channel.
I heard it's subscribed.
All right. Yes, no. Analytics as a passion.
Means for a living, but also, unfortunately, I grew up with like tiger parents. So to some degree, I'm still trying to figure out what does
passion
loving-
mean?
Exactly. What does passion, loving,
Yeah.
and enjoying something mean? Sometimes I do wonder if engineering was just me making the best of uncertain circumstances.
I didn't become a doctor, so this earns a lot of money, and my parents are happy with me. So
Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
yeah.
Engineer was not.
Same question, right?
Yeah.
Unless we have different.
Okay, I think it's just like really funny how two people who are looking to get into data science analytics, we're like it's a means to an end. That's just funny. But I will say, for me, I'm kind of very passionate about education in general, and I do feel like data science is it's a place where I see that there is so much room for that kind of opportunity, and just trying to distill such very abstract, complicated topics into something that's understandable by like everybody here is something that I love doing, and that's kind of why I do it too. But in the end, like for my day-to-day job, I would say it's kind of to get food on the table. It's nice, but we like everybody here, we have dreams of our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really great, there's a great lesson in here, right? Like, just because a lot of us are on YouTube doing this stuff, I mean, obviously, I think to an extent we all like it. Oh, thank you. Obviously, we all like it to an extent. But it's still a means to an end for a lot of us. And I think what Ken said is probably summarizes my view on analytics and data science, where learning how to code, learning how to make some form of mathematical certainty out of uncertainty and things that are very squishy is interesting to me, and the ability to take very complicated concepts and distill them down into something that's provable and visualize that stuff, that's fascinating to me. But is it my passion? No, my passion would be things like cars or geopolitics. So I can apply data science and analytics to my passions. There's a great professor I follow, Scott Galloway. He's a marketing professor at Stern, and he has this great, advice he gives you to be successful in life, where he says, take two things that don't normally go together. The example he gave, I think, was fashion and engineering, and then become really good at Miki over there is it knitting, right?
Yeah, this is just something I do for relaxing. But in terms of passion, right? Engineering is a skill I built up. Fashion's a thing that I'm interested in. And ultimately, I'm trying to create a digital, physical fashion brand, right? So combining stuff maybe wouldn't make sense normally pre-Web3, but it's something. At the end of the day, you need skills.
Yeah.
So.
And at the end of the day, it's kind of what data science analytics gives me. It's coding is a concrete skill that allows me to accomplish concrete results. I know for me, after college, I faced some financial insecurity in my life. And so being able to go onto Upwork and then charge a six-figure salary's worth of hourly rates, just because I know how to code in Python, gave me a lot of ease in my my mental state. Where I knew even if my company fired me tomorrow, and I mean it's really cool to be able to even say that to my I was having drinks with my manager the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, no, obviously I love my job, but if I got fired tomorrow, it wouldn't affect my daily standard of living or anything. And the concrete skills associated with analytics have given me that. So it's not my passion, but it's allowed me to accomplish and do a lot of what I want to do in life. So yeah, hopefully that was a good answer for you guys. All right, let's see what we got next. I watched your video with Nick and bought his book, Aced the Behavior Interview, 10 minutes ago. Now I have to read the rest of the book for the next week. Awesome, Chris. That's great to hear. Yes, Nick Singh's book on the data science interview, I really liked it. I thought it was great. Sorry?
He's a cool guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a super cool guy. But yeah, I thought his book was great. And I thought, guys are freaking genius. I wish I thought about that. Cracking the coding interview, and just make a data science version of it, I'm actually kind of mad I never thought of the idea, but okay, I'll think of the next one. It's a great book. For anyone not familiar, I was hanging out with Sundus yesterday. So Sundus Khalid, she's big on Instagram and on YouTube actually. Oh, thank you so much, Pink Mark. Just wanted to say thank you. Started working as a data analyst last year, and your channel's been a big help. Have your next coffee on me. Well, thanks, man. It really means a lot that you say that. Again, at the end of the day, we're trying to get people jobs on this channel, good, well-paying jobs. So. Yes, Paolo, you're right. Going onto Upwork and building a portfolio did help me build some confidence, and it allowed me to test out my Python because I learned Python just less than 2 years ago, and I was able to actually implement my skills more rapidly in Upwork because I could look for Python jobs. All right.
Love that fridge.
It's wild. The fridge here is wild.
Oh, I saw it. It was crazy.
It like yells at you
Great fridge.
if it's open.
Smart fridges.
Should we like programming to succeed in data analysis? And what do you think skills a person needs to be? So if you want to know what skills you need to be a data analyst, check out my roadmap to data analyst video. Very popular video, and it outlines, in my opinion, what is the simplest route to become a data analyst from 4 different starting points. Bachelor's degree, master's degree, experienced hire, and like some other starting point. I forgot what the other one was. So check out that video. Do you have to know programming to be a data analyst? Not at all. To be a data analyst, you have to, I would say if you want to be competitive in the job market, you have to know SQL, which is not coding. It doesn't mean it's not as difficult though. I actually think SQL is harder than Python, honestly. It's a lot more difficult for me personally because like you can't just like procedurally do steps one after another. You have to like create optimize queries and everything, and it's kind of annoying, quite honestly, but a very necessary skill. But even before that, something like Tableau, just knowing Tableau, Power BI can get your foot in the door as an entry-level position at a lot of companies. That being said, I get this question a lot, do you have to know how to program? I think programming is a lot more intimidating than it actually is. And knowing how to program, you don't have to know how to program, but it's a concrete skill that'll give you so many lifelong benefits, in my opinion. If you have an idea, you can implement it immediately in some very simple form. If you want to do freelancing, people are always looking for developers for various things. And if you want to be competitive in the job market, people who code are competitive in the job market. So while I would say you don't have to know how to code, it's a skill that pays massive, massive, massive dividends. Eddie Boz, just out of curiosity, how are you well versed in object-oriented programming? I am not. I need to read design patterns. It's that book. I think it's for OOP stuff. That it's like the Bible of OOP apparently. I am not well versed in it. I know Python in what I call a purely practical sense, in that I know how to get things done, not necessarily well. So I'm trying to roll back my knowledge and learn how to do things better now. I'm taking a couple of data structures and algorithms courses. Now I can learn how to program more intelligently. Kieran, great to hear. Jagadeshwari, let's see. Do any company give training for a fresher who have basic skills in data science? I don't know if companies will explicitly say we give training. What you do is you come in with you either come in with no skills, and a lot of companies will hire people like that, or you come in with a very small number of skills, and then you keep asking for opportunities to be trained by your coworkers or by your boss. I'm sure some companies do train. I just am personally not aware of like a generalized framework for that. All right, what else do we have? Okay, Anyan Weiss. I saw Luke's video on finding a project today. What if you don't have a problem to fix and only a passion like cars or investing analysis? Since I'm kind of stuck with getting better at Python. So, I would recommend, actually,
Let's be conscious in Austin.
you know what? Yeah. Okay. So if you have a passion, then what I would do is I would recommend finding a data set related to that passion. That's where Kaggle can be super useful. Wait. What do you do? Like
Data engineer.
Data engineer. Okay, perfect. Right. There's going to be a bunch of great questions for you too. Then I keep getting asked data engineering questions, and I'm like, I don't know. I just pipe the data in. That's what you do, right?
It's well, I don't want to ruin your community extras, but like it's funny because you talk to like data analysts and like there's like I just use Power BI and like that hurts like every data engineer for like the data modeling, but I'm like part of me is also like yeah, but that's just they're gonna do what they need to do to get it done. So sometimes it's like well,
Life, man.
Yeah.
sometimes you just
I
do
don't know
it.
how to use Power BI.
You don't know how to use
Wait, what do
Power
you use?
BI?
Tableau.
No.
So okay, this is a really funny. So you're a data scientist, right?
Scientist at a FANG company. So
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't say that I'm not.
Anyway, so what Tina says is actually really funny. There's a lot of data scientists at my company too, where they don't know a BI tool, which is just a really funny concept to me because like that's where I started my analytics journey. And then I end up teaching some of the data scientists how to use BI tools. So it's a real skill that you can learn that is actually genuinely useful. And even expert data scientists don't necessarily know how to use BI tools. So a lot of people they say like, oh, but I want to learn coding first. But this like Tableau, Power BI, these are really great, easy entry points for the industry.
Somebody get this man a podium.
did you accidentally post it?
No, it's not even
All right.
It's fine. I licked it all.
Next question, guys. Let's see. How good is the pay scale for entry-level experienced data analyst scientists? Please be honest. So it. Oh, actually, wait, Luke. There's a question for you specifically.
Oh.
We will get to that in a second.
You got your hair like that. Can you bench press?
Yeah. So the one by Anyan.
Can you deadlift like 4 plates?
I saw Luke's video today on finding a project today. What if you don't have a problem to fix, only a passion like cars during investing analysis, since I'm kind of stuck with getting better in Python. So I think it's a good place to start, right? And I've like, you don't think you need to have this major project to start. So I'll give an example about this passion thing, right? So I'm into nutrition and fitness. The first thing I did is I found out that they have nutrition facts for different foods listed publicly, like data.gov. And that was like just the first thing I did. I'm into nutrition, so I just started analyzing food. And then from there, it morphed into building like sort of like a dashboard for figuring out what food you want to eat via meal prep application. So just start small. I wouldn't like try to overdo it. So it like if you have a passion with cars, they have like cars data sets. Start there and then just iterate from there until your next project. You're not going to start with like a award-winning project with your first project. It's going to be start small and then go big.
Wow, that was so eloquent. Actually,
Sweet.
Always remember, does that answer your question?
could I have the truck keys?
Yes, sir. They're in the kitchen.
All right. What do we have? Okay. What is a good scale for an entry-level experienced data analyst or scientist? So pay scales are difficult to figure out because it drastically changes based on like your location. Even in the United States, just like, based on where you are. I always tell people, like, my first job as a data analyst, I got paid $55K in 2018 in Dallas, Texas. And I was very happy with that pay. Like, it was more than enough to, like, I live with my parents, but if I needed to get an apartment or anything, it would have paid for that comfortably, and I would have, been quite comfortable with that. So I tell people, like, for me, that was good. But, obviously, if you live in, like, Seattle, for example, you would expect more than that. If you live in New York, you would expect more than that. So that's, that's definitely what I tell people usually when they ask about like pay and stuff. All right, guys. So I'm going to be cutting today's live stream a little bit short. I was on a red eye on the way over here, so I am exhausted. But thank you guys so much for joining. I'm glad that you guys got to see the rest of the group and everything. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll see if I can ask